Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
Am I on camera?
To you.
Can they see the
birthday, don't be a brat about it.
Can they see the hand gestures?
Happy birthday to you. Or the years stop coming and they don't 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 stop
Oh God. So Ash texted me earlier and was happy birthday. Do you ever think about if you were in Europe, your birthday would be 23/4? And like 23/4 sounds like a Kingdom Hearts spinoff because they have one game that's called 365 divided by 8 days. It's just something fucking. There goes the monetization. Fuck it, we'll do it live. But like, it's some ridiculous 350s. And the response is, Sora and the gang go to Mustafar to fight a team up between Organization 13 and the Sith. And the response is, Donald turns into an R2 unit and Goofy becomes a Wookiee. Also, the game is auto chess or something. I don't know. I was very glad to hear from them today. It was great.
I'm glad you heard from those.
Yeah. I responded with, now this is pod racing. Greetings. Stay a while and listen. Yes, today, in fact, is my birthday. I am 41 years of age today. And as a result of this, I am playing Shining Force 2 for the live stream thing. Because this game, I clearly remember buying.
Oh, sorry. You get to listen to a baby laugh.
But yes, I remember very specifically getting this for my birthday. Mostly because we could not afford Phantasy Star 4. And I had just played Chrono Trigger on the SNES, and I'm like, I need an RPG. And while this is not the same type of RPG as Chrono Trigger, it created an obsession.
It scratched the itch while creating a whole new one.
That's way dirtier than it's supposed to sound. Like, that's just...
No, what I'm saying is perfectly innocent. I don't know what you're thinking over there.
You know exactly what I'm... And I would love to sit down, but there's a kitty in the way.
Here, buddy, say hi to the internet.
Can I... He's like, no. Oh, thank you. You can come back and sit here.
Say hello first.
Hi, everybody.
That was a very unenthusiastic hello.
Hi, Dr. Nick.
I was just trying to get a reaction out of him. He was just staring very intently at your phone, I think. Aww. Give the pupper a couple pets for me.
Yay, puppers. Yes, it's time to start school. Let me steal your herb. It's the only way I can get through class.
Finals are next week, but this is a good time to start school. Oh. Man, I miss, like, being a student. I do not miss the stress.
Right?
All of that.
The king has fallen down. I love how ridiculous
Does he need life alert?
The script for this is just so... The king is sick. And it's like, yeah, a group of 3 kids, one of them being a centaur. We're just gonna waltz our way into the castle.
Cool. I can't wait to hear about them, but like I totally get it. Also, I took the Dr. Pepper peeps over for Ham Fest. We didn't do Easter but we did Ham Fest, and everybody seemed to really like them. I managed to get 2 packages last night, like 50% off or something, because it's post-Easter, post-Zombie Jesus Day.
Yeah, that's what my family tends to celebrate. Happy Zombie Jesus Day.
Yeah. But now that that's over, I might make my way back to church on Sunday.
Now that we're
At
done with
least
whatever
I could hand
that
out
was.
flyers about the concert happening the next weekend. So. Yeah, I gotta give my input on who we're gonna hire as a choir director. It's like they value my opinion or some shit. It's real weird.
Right? I feel that way at work.
Like I shouldn't be trusted with this.
I say that quite often. It's like, you guys should not.
Like, do you know how I've spent the last 42 years? It's been silly.
I keep with the statement of like, I need an adult. I am an adult. Well, I need an adult here, adult.
Yeah. I feel that way a lot, and then I get emails about my credit score.
Yeah. I got an email about my retirement plan. I'm like, my what? No, oh, right. Yeah, I do have that. The hell?
Oh, I finally heard from the publisher this week, and they needed more information from me to pay me for the textbook, but I'm gonna get paid, finally.
Get paid, bitches.
Like 3 years after I did the work.
I mean, it's better than not.
I mean, yeah. So that's cool. Happy about that. It's like my very first contract with a publisher is being honored. I can say that.
I didn't want to involve you, my children.
Oh shit.
Well, I mean, he didn't want to involve us. We involved ourselves. Because if it weren't for these meddling kids and the centaur. So I fucking love Chester. I was just kind of surprised when I started this, because even in D&D at the time, centaurs were not a super, like, they're in the monster manual, but they weren't really a playable race in AD&D. So, like, to see a fantasy game that's like, yeah, no, we're gonna focus on having some weird ass. I'm like, no, yeah. I was playing Vice City, doing a mission, managed to run over a guy I was supposed to kill. My car blew up, got both messages, mission passed, and wasted at the same time. I mean, that's an accurate description of life in general. Like, that's just how it works.
Every time I see a centaur now, though, I end up hearing Carter Vale's cowboy song. My mom was a boy, Dad was a cow.
There's one of the little D&D animated skits that pops up as a short on YouTube, and it's the rogue challenging people. It's like, okay, it's like, I challenge you to a horse race, and he's challenging a centaur, and he's like, okay, here's my horse. Where's your horse? And the centaur's like, mate, it's like, yes, you're a centaur, but you're not riding a horse. And the centaur's like, you want me to ride a horse? That was the, like, if I was going to just race you on a foot race, then yeah, but like, I specifically said horse race. Like, you're an ass, you know that?
Speaking of horse races, Derby's also on the day of the concert.
Derby.
And there are a few people in choir who are not happy about that.
Understandable.
And since I'm the resident Kentucky kid, they were like, do you do anything for Derby now? I was like, honestly, I hate Derby, but I love it.
Yeah.
And I love bourbon.
So I was looking at, I got a notification that there's a concert in October for Final Fantasy. It's the Distant World concert. I'm like, oh, I'd love to go. I was looking at it. It's the same weekend that Playthrough is on.
Oh, man.
But Playthrough is Saturday and Sunday, and the concert's in the evening. So I'm like, oh, well, we could, pick up tickets for the concert, do maybe like part of the day Saturday or Sunday at the convention, do the concert the other night. Let me look up tickets. Cheapest is $90 per seat.
Wow.
And I'm like, I don't remember it being that expensive the last time I went to it. I'm sure as shit not going to Axis. Child.
Marie.
Come sit. Your brother's not on the couch. You can come up here.
I could actually check out the prices. There are so many concerts here, and it's ridiculous.
Come right over here. Meow. Yeah, they'll quack.
Ghost. Save token. Kesha's coming. I really want to go see Kesha.
Mike also asked me if I have ever heard of Ghost.
Now that you mention it, I have heard a lot about them.
How much damage did you just do to Bowie?
Okay. Are you crying about being rude?
Yeah.
That would bring you joy.
It brings me joy.
Consume Alice. It'll bring you joy.
Don't want to do this yet, but I'm going to do this.
Ziggy Stardust.
One thing about this game that I really loved is that, like, you saw the progress, like, the kids, like, the sword that your main character starts off with is literally wooden stick. Like, our weapons are just tree branches.
Yeah. I found this on the ground, and I'm going to hit you with it. Are you going to steal my seat when I get up to grab my beer?
Yep.
It's actually my last beer.
Boys.
No, I'm drinking.
Alright guys, come on down. Who's next? Who's the next contestant on The Price is My Face getting hit with a stick? Remember to spay and neuter your pets.
I can't remember what started it, but the director last night was comparing something to Price is Right, and I can't remember what it was. But I know I had to like physically fight myself to like not interrupt
Come on
her.
down!
Come on down! It was a close call.
Well, so the other day when Val Kilmer died, I watched Batman Forever. And one of the lines is like, "Come on down, you're the next contestant on Brain Drain." Lion Skirt, yes.
forgot about
Hello.
that.
Yes, I am playing Shining Force 2 because today is my birthday, and as I've mentioned several times in various iterations, like I got this game as a birthday present, so like I'm playing this because it's my birthday and I want to, and
It's ritual.
it's ritual. And I'm 41 years old. I'm a perfectly functional adult
With a retirement.
with a retirement and a credit score.
You know, I think my retirement plan is just dying. With the way things are going right now, that might be my only option given my health. Got 23 good years.
I mean,
Heavy this year.
I loved Batman Forever. I didn't realize it at the time, but like it's a fantastic Batman movie. It wasn't as dark as the Burtons. It wasn't as campy as Adam West. It was a nice middle ground. I don't think Jim Carrey as the Riddler was the best choice. I honestly, there's, God, what is his name? I'm blanking on his name. The Creeper. He showed up in the Batman cartoon, but he's been in the comics for a while. He is sometimes a villain, sometimes a hero, sometimes an anti-hero, depending on...
Okay, Venom.
But he has the same origin story as the Joker. He fell into a vat of chemicals. It turned his skin green, greenish yellow. He looks kind of jaundiced. And so he put on like a feather boa and like a Speedo, and was jumping around. Like he's got,
I'm about it.
he's got like great agility and dexterity, because apparently that was a thing. But like he's also just batshit crazy, and like has no fear of death. He's just. Whereas the Joker is crazy and homicidal, this guy's just kind of crazy and wacky. It's like if Freakazoid were in the Batman universe. And like there was one episode of the cartoon where he was hitting on Harley Quinn, and Harley Quinn was about to kill him with a mallet. But it was the animated series, so like obviously that's not going to happen. But it was like that would have been like the perfect character for Jim Carrey, because he's already just a little out there.
6'1", big teeth, kind of
Gangly.
gangly.
Like I always thought of the Riddler as like, granted, Adam West's Riddler. Jim Carrey was basically a revamp of Adam West's Riddler. So I get where he's coming from on that. But like, I always thought of the Riddler as like, I'm smart. I have no other skills. I'm not strong. I'm not fast. I'm smart. I'm smarter than everyone else in the room, including Batman, and I have to prove it. Otherwise, I'm going to go insane.
So every white man that has come up to me talking about how they are in Mensa.
Have you heard about crypto? Oh God, I matched with someone on a dating app. I am 99% sure she's a bot that's just out there designed to get people into crypto scams.
I mean, honestly, probably.
Because, like, the questions that, like, she was asking me was like, so, what do you do for work? You know, what are your fun? Do you know about? Well, A, it was like, do you know about crypto? Yes, and I didn't engage that part any further, but mentioned, yeah, I work for BlackRock. It allows me to, it's not, a job I'm super passionate about, but it allows me to, do the things that I enjoy doing. Like, okay, you're saying things that's just human enough, but I still think you are probably a bot.
One of the many reasons why I haven't gotten on a dating.
Yeah, and she hasn't responded, like, she hasn't sent it, like, I haven't responded to her last message. I'm confident it's a bot. But, like, I'm pretty sure, like, like, if you don't reach out to me, it's because it's not in your programming to do so. You are responding to comments, but you're not initiating comments. Frank Gorshin is also a great Riddler, but I saw the Riddler as a cross between an insufferable genius and comedic sociopath. No, Jim Carrey did not do... Well, actually, he might have done the Arkham series. I don't know. I don't think he did. I'll have to look. I thought they got...
I am enjoying all of the different art for the Creeper.
Oh, yes. Oh, you...
Although this figurine is,
and that
it just looks like he's being eaten.
That is the animated series.
Yeah.
Like that's the Bruce Timm design and everything. Like
I like how the legs are articulated at the hips, but covered in underwear. So, cool. But I do appreciate how campy he got with it. That's pretty great.
The Creeper is just an interesting character. I'm
Now that I'm looking at it, I do remember.
like I don't remember seeing too many comics of his, and he was only in like one episode of the animated series.
Yeah.
But yeah. He's less comedic in Arkham, but still has the funny moments. He truly is. So like, the animated series Riddler, I thought was really close to what I expected the Riddler to be. Except he wasn't as... Smarmy's not the word I'm looking for, but smug, I guess, is kind of... Because it's like... Like... In the comics, it's often discussed that the Riddler knows who Batman is, and he's known for a while. Like because he can like, as far as intelligence goes, the Riddler is one of Batman's smartest enemies.
Yeah.
But he doesn't do anything about it because he doesn't want to stop Batman, because Batman's one of the only people on his intellectual level.
Yeah. Which really, I think they gave Bruce Wayne too much. Like, billionaire, playboy, genius. Like, I'm sorry. I guess really his general, like, not antisocial, but like non-social, whatever, is like his drawback.
Yeah.
But like, well, and a complete and total lack of sleep.
Yeah.
Nobody talks about that. Like,
no, actually, there's one comic where they're doing something, and They're talking about it's various members of the Bat family. They're on the run from something, or it may have been the Justice League, and yeah, it was the Justice League because Wonder Woman's like, I don't need to sleep. I'll take first watch, and Bruce is like, no, I can take first watch. It's like, no, you need sleep. It's like, Wonder Woman's like, I don't have to sleep. I'm magic. I don't need sleep. And Bruce is like, okay, fine, but I only need 2 hours of sleep and I can fall asleep in 5 minutes. So if you need anything, wake me up. Like, it was just like I can do this, this, and this in regards to sleep. Like, really? Even when you're...
Like, I'm sorry, you never lose the sleep deficit. It just gets bigger. Ask me how I know.
You're also not a rich white man.
Well, you know, I hit one of those criteria.
But yeah, I always had problems with Batman as I have the same problems with Doctor Doom as a character. Like, I honestly, and I've said this before, Doctor Doom is Marvel's Batman. Doctor Doom, he's the king of a country. He's the smartest person in Marvel, because arguably he's smarter than Reed Richards, even though Richards is always proven to be smarter than him. Even though Reed Richards is also the dumbest fucking smart person.
Well, I'm a pretty dumb smart person. I don't think I'm that level, because I'm not a man, and I'm not...
You also didn't think, hey, it's a good idea to clone the god of thunder.
Yeah, that's not how I roll.
And put
It's
people
very
in
unethical.
a multi-dimensional prison because they don't want to sign the Sokovia Accords.
Yeah, no. Which I guess it's really appropriate that Robert Downey Jr.'s been pulled in for that.
Yeah.
Which, speaking of, Tony Stark also fits that profile with Bruce Wayne, and like...
Well, so Tony Stark at least...
He's an insufferable asshole. That's his drawback.
Tony Stark's problem is he is still too human.
Yeah.
He's not strong without the armor.
Mm-mm.
He's not durable without the armor. He is deeply flawed as a person. There's an entire storyline dealing with his alcoholism. And then there's an entire storyline that they're going to adapt into a show, but they're doing it from the perspective of Rhodey instead, which I think is going to be interesting, called Armor Wars, where after Tony gets clean, realizes that while he was spending so many years as a drunk superhero pretending to save the world, his tech was being leaked out into the world, and people are using it to do all sorts of heinous shit. So he decides, I'm going to stop that. And so he creates something that will disable his tech. And so he goes around and he starts attaching it to, various bad guys. Like, there's one bad guy in the Marvel Universe, Stilt Man.
Sorry.
He's a Spider-Man villain. I always saw Iron Man as Marvel's Batman. Doctor Doom is Batman in my... Because, like, he's rich, he's smart, he's a king, he's smarter than Reed Richards, but his ego is his only real downfall. But then he's like, oh, I'm super technologically gifted to where I can make armor better than Iron Man's. But then it's like, oh, also, I'm going to be skilled in magic to the point to where I'm better than Doctor Strange. I'm like...
Yeah, that is seriously overpowered.
But no, Iron Man was super flawed because he was drunk, and then he started...
Drunk with daddy issues and...
all sorts of... Daddy and mommy, because most of his...
Incredibly misogynistic.
Philandering was because his mom didn't hug him enough.
It's always the mother's fault.
I mean...
No, I inherited some bullshit from my mom, and I know that. Dad is way worse, though. I'll stick with my birthright to hate Mitch McConnell.
Yeah. But, yeah, so for Armor Wars, the whole thing was like Tony Stark was going around disabling his tech, but then he was like, oh, even good guys have it, like S.H.I.E.L.D. And so he just goes completely off the reservation and is like, I'm going to start attacking S.H.I.E.L.D. facilities. I'm going to start taking out heroes that are using my tech. And he eventually gets into a fight with Rhodey about it. Because, like, Rhodey has the War Machine armor.
Yeah.
Like, oh, right, that's a thing.
Just let it be Don Cheadle, Rhodey, and not
Terrence Howard.
Yeah, because that man.
Oh no, Terrence Howard. So like, even with the fact that they're bringing in like the multiverse stuff,
Yeah.
and they're bringing in other, Terrence Howard has been blacklisted from Marvel.
Good.
Because of all the stuff that he's said publicly about how he was treated by Robert Downey Jr. and attacking the studio and Kevin Feige and.
I think he should just be blacklisted for being a wife beater. That's just me.
I just love sitting there listening to his mathematics takes that 1 + 1 = 3. I don't know if that's the exact thing, but like he has an equally ridiculous mathematical formula that he's trying to prove is accurate, and I'm like, every mathematician on the planet's telling you no. But it's kind of like vaccines. I watched a Facebook video and I was able to piece it together, so obviously this must be true.
Uh-huh. Right. So about the community college needing a course on how to find, like, reliable resources. Also, apparently, off topic, Ribbit told me something that I've been doing for years is something my body should not allow me to do.
Ladies?
Apparently, I'm not supposed to be able to reach that. That's where my tattoo is.
I mean, yeah, that's
Not quite as high with this arm, but apparently, like, that's just not the arms should do.
yeah, especially if you're. So what Jess is doing is, with the palm on their back, able to touch their like. Yeah, I can't do that. That's.
Yeah, so I found that out on Monday. I scratched my back.
I'm not supposed to be able to do this.
I'm magic if the magic means hurting myself. Hypermobility is great.
Yes, land effect does increase defense, and this is really kind of the only stage in the game, is the early parts where it actually, makes that much of a difference. As you get into the game and get promoted, it really stops mattering. He is.
I'll bite you back then.
It's because Dad is old.
I mean, relatively speaking, you're older. You know that, right?
Like, I don't know that. How dare you?
This is an 81 Honda. How dare you? Oh, that brief moment when Danforth was funny.
Right? What happened to him?
Yeah, I don't know. I did make Mom listen to the Catholic Mass gag that he had. Got communion and walked up and go, your move, holy man. I made her listen to this on the way to her Catholic husband's funeral.
You know, like you do.
He wasn't practicing, but his kids were, and they're the ones who dealt with the funeral. And when it was time for communion, Rob and I just kind of stood there trying very hard not to laugh, which was exactly why I made her listen to it.
Well, I mean, you know, it's very similar to the scene in Ted Lasso at the funeral, where they rickroll everything, because like you kind of need that sometimes. Sometimes you just need to be rickrolled. Yeah,
I mean, we laughed at this funeral. We laughed at my friend Daniel's funeral. I think this is actually like partly what he wrote down that he wanted, but he was really young, so like there was a whole lot. But he did Rocky Horror. He was one of the cast members in a show in Dallas, and the rest of his castmates showed up in costume. And then it was them, his parents, and then the rest of us from the physics department. Yeah. Or physics department, Jason.
I was the adjacent.
I abutted physics.
I mean, I abut physics too.
But, yeah.
Chester became level 3.
He's the one that did that student film situation where they were this RPG of his life as a student.
Yes,
yeah. Yeah. Which is still up on YouTube if you want some very campy and amateur but funny stuff. Dexterity roll for brushing your teeth.
Fail.
It's pretty great. Oh, well. It's not my mouth. Proceeds to go ahead and press it. Yeah. He had just moved into his own place. He had roommates forever. He was severely diabetic. And he fell into a diabetic coma. And
That sucks.
nobody knew.
I used to have the Ultimate Genesis collection, but my 360 expired. I have so many Sega Genesis collections, but only like 2 of them have this game. The Xbox 360 version I've got, and I think the Switch version has it as well. Supposedly, the Switch goes on pre-order tomorrow.
Oh, we'll see.
Yeah. Not on Amazon, but Target, Best Buy, GameStop, and one other retailer. You can do it either in store or online at those. And I'm like, I don't think I'm going to pre-order it tomorrow. I think I'm gonna wait for it to come out first.
Yeah.
Because I know I'm gonna get one, because it's a souped up Switch. It's got better specs. And it can play Switch games. So like, I know I'm going to pick one up eventually. I just want to see if there's going to be enough to actually warrant. Because like, I've got a ton of Switch games.
Yeah, you do. You do.
Like, if the Switch 2 comes out with, you know, half as many games, it'll still be another. Because I have 4 games for my PS5, 3 of which I actually will play. The 4th, my ex got. Which I would give back, but like, she doesn't have a PS5, and she's not going to buy a PS5. So like,
Yeah.
but like, I've got Final Fantasy VII, Final Fantasy 16, and Visions of Mana. Only because those are not available on any other console. I can get the Final Fantasies on PC. I don't think I can get Vision of Mana on PC. But we did find out that Final Fantasy VII is coming out on the Switch too. So I'm like,
Yeah.
another reason for me to not need my green PS5.
Actually, I'm trying to think. Including the ones that I've downloaded. I think I only have like 7 games for this Switch.
Yeah. Well, I was doing real well about recording. And then I wasn't. Like, I need to get back into recording Unicorn Overlord, and then I'm very close to done with Unicorn Overlord. So I'm like, I got to figure out what I'm going to Let's Play next. And I'm like, I know I'm going to continue Let's Playing, like, because for a second, like, I was like, well, maybe I could just stop Let's Playing and just focus on like a weekly stream. No, I still want to keep Let's Playing because it's a very different environment, the Let's Play, because like, but what do I need to do? What should I play next? And then also, I just find myself wanting to practice archery so fucking much that I'm like, but like, I do have to stop myself because like, I try to limit to an hour every other day because I don't want to overexert my arms and my hands because I'm still getting used, because I have to build up strength. So I've started doing like arm exercises, like push-ups and such to you know, I need to get one of those little hand grippy things to increase grip strength. Because like I need to practice, but like I can just no. I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna go out and practice archery and be like, I need to stop. I've been out here for over 2 hours, and
What happens to me?
like I haven't practiced this week because Libet and I, well no, I guess I technically have because I did on Sunday. Libet came over and we practiced for a little bit on Sunday because I tried out my new bow. And that's when I was like, I need more practice. But as we were back there, Libet's like, there's a ton of poison ivy back here. I'm like, oh shit, it wasn't there because things hadn't started blooming yet as we'd gone back. So now it's like, oh no, that is quite obviously poison ivy. And she was like, do you need my help identifying? Because I cannot fucking tell poison ivy to save my life. And I'm like, maybe. So I went out yesterday. No, day before yesterday. I went Monday. Was it Monday? And I got some brush clearer, some like heavy duty, like specifically designed for poison ivy, poison oak,
Yeah.
and brush, like heavy brush, and just sprayed the shit out of everything back there. I'm like, all right, now I got to give it a day. And I was going to go out and check yesterday, but it was drizzling yesterday. So I'm like, I don't want to spray any of this out in the rain.
Which?
And then it's like, oh yeah, it's supposed to rain today. It was clear blue skies all day.
All day. It's beautiful. When I came over earlier, it was like, can we live stream outside? Let's have class outside today.
I've actually thought about that a couple of times. Back in the early days of dating Amber during the pandemic, when we were trying to do outdoorsy stuff, I did manage to get. You just plopped your butt on your brother. You adorable little asshole. Don't get mad when he starts grooming you, because you chose.
You asked for that.
But I moved the TV out to the back deck, and that's like I introduced her to Castlevania at that point. And so, like, I have often thought, like, can I find a way to live stream outside? It would be difficult, especially this time of year where it starts well, there's still light, but then as we have progressed, like, it is now quite clearly dark outside. Why did you have to put my dwarf to sleep? And he's taking a little nap now. Well, I don't want you to live, because...
I was going to ask if you needed me to come cut down the poison ivy, since I'm not allergic.
I'm apparently still not allergic. I thought I might have been, but it seems to not be. Like, I've got some itchy spots, but that could just be my normal dermatitis. Alright, this bat's pissing me off.
Yeah, there's a tree outside my grandparents' house, and I had two cousins that were born within like a month of me, and so we played together or whatever, and we were playing around that tree, and both of them within a very short time frame was like, Mom? And I was like, what?
Whole discussion of Phantasy Star going on.
Yeah, I totally haven't been paying attention to chat. Sorry, guys.
I have not played many of the Phantasy Star games because I didn't own them growing up, because they were ass expensive. A lot of people are freaking out these days about the cost of Switch 2 games being announced at $70, and I'm like, I remember cartridge games going for $79.99 for some of the heavy hitting stuff, like
in 1997 money.
Yeah, and Chrono Trigger was like, I'm pretty sure Chrono Trigger was $70 when it came out. Like, but yeah, so like I never got a chance to play them when they were out. I haven't really gotten a chance to go back and, you know, deal with them in my backlog. And I really should. Maybe that's what I'll let's play next, just to, you know, finally get through it.
I wish I I don't know what happened to our Super Nintendo either.
I don't have my original Genesis. I gave that to my cousin, and I regret it. Because, well, I mean, at the time I didn't, because he thoroughly enjoyed it. He loved Shining Force 2. But, like, I gave my original copy of Shining Force 2. I had a copy of a game called Sparkster for the Genesis that is now apparently rare and very valuable. And I had a couple other games, and it's like, okay, yeah, cool. Like, I had got my Saturn, so like I upgraded. I didn't need this. I don't.
Yeah.
But I had gone back and bought another Genesis and several. Like I have a copy of Johnny Force 2 because like yeah. Just gotta keep that. That's important. What did you do to Sir Howl? Sir Howl's dead.
But yeah, I think except for Super Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt, which came with the Nintendo, I think all of our other games for both the Nintendo and the Super Nintendo were either hand-me-downs or we bought used, which is why we had very few. And then Mom and Pam would monopolize the Super Nintendo and we couldn't play for days.
I didn't have a ton of Genesis games. I think I had about like 5, 6.
Hey, Atelier.
Atelier! I had Sonic 1. I had Golden Axe 2, Captain America and the Avengers, Rocket Knight, Sparkster, Shining Force 2. Those are the 6 main games that I remember. I think I had 2 more. I don't remember which 2. But I mostly got games on the Game Gear because that was portable.
Yeah.
And so, like, I could like, we would go to West Virginia to visit my grandmother several times a year.
Need something while you're up there.
Like, in the car on the way up.
Yeah.
When I'm there, because at that point in time, there was fuck all to do in West Virginia, especially as a child who couldn't drive.
Yeah.
Like, now I can drive and there's still not as much to do.
Yeah.
But, like, yeah.
I remember taking my Game Boy everywhere. And then getting mad that my sister got a Game Boy Color. And I was like, I've taken care of mine.
So, I dated a girl in high school named Rachel. She bought a Game Boy and borrowed a friend of ours' copy of Pokemon Blue, I think. And she would not stop playing that game. She was I honestly think she liked Pokemon more than me. I got her Pokemon Yellow for Christmas the year that it came out. I highly regretted that decision when our relationship took a nosedive for the next 4 months while she completely just immersed herself in that game. But I'm like, okay, I play a bunch of games myself. I can't say anything. And I was a nerdy kid in high school. I was just happy to have a girlfriend who enjoyed the stuff that because like at that point in time, it's like, oh, you like games? You're a nerd. Kind of like,
Yeah.
It's like, okay, at least she and I have similar interests, even though it's like obviously untreated ADHD of I have to hyper focus on this. Like,
Yeah. I was about to say my game was Pyramids of Ra.
Yeah.
And I couldn't put it down. Actually, that's the second thing I remember really hyper focusing on. The first thing was weather. Danger, Will. Danger.
Oh no, Atelier's PC got fried.
Oh no.
I'm glad you got a new one though. The Genesis was my first console. My dad had an Atari 2600 and an Atari 7800. And I eventually got the 7800 as a hand-me-down, and I think the 2600 crapped itself at one point or another. My brother bought a TurboGrafx 16 at one point, and we only had 2 games for it. We had 3 games. We had the game that came with it, which was Keith Courage and Alpha Zones, which is just the trippiest acid trip of a game. We had Dungeon Explorer and we had Alien Crash, which was a pinball game. My brother, in his infinite wisdom, decided he was going to trade that to a friend of his, the whole console, trade it to a friend of his for a leather biker jacket. And then I got pissed because I wanted to keep playing it, and we obviously didn't have it anymore. And so for Christmas that year, I got a Genesis. That was my first console, was a Genesis. And I was super excited about it because I loved Sonic the Hedgehog. I thought it was great. And then I think 2 years later I got a Game Gear. And then mostly focused on the Game Gear.
What is it, Axis?
Alright, I am now just doing 1 point of damage with my healer. My healer is now going to just start healing people, as she should.
I have never been sure, like, what exactly it says about me, but every time I've ever been asked, like, what superpower would you ask for, mine is always healing.
It means you live with chronic illness.
Yeah, probably. But, like, yeah.
So
I'm a cleric of Medusa.
I don't know what's, like, if someone offered me a list of, like, pick one of these superpowers, I'd probably be able to pick something, but, like, just pick a superpower. Like, I have no idea what I would pick. I don't think I have the mental fortitude to just be like, no, I have one choice, because, like, it's all a little, like, what, because I overthink it. Like, because I'm already sitting here overthinking. It's like, does sorcery count as a superpower? Because Doctor Strange has powers, they're magic. Does that count as a superpower? Other people have his same power, but other people have other similar power sets. Look at all of the Spiderlings. You've got 2 Spider-Men, you've got Penny Parker's Spider-Man, you've got a bunch of spider people. So, like, is, like, uniqueness a factor of said superpower, or can you have just other flavors of the same thing? Because then it's like, well, sorcery and magic is a good one, because that's open. I could do a ton of shit with that, but typically magic comes with a price. It's like, okay, well, then you've got things like various manipulations, like pyrokinesis, cryokinesis. Like, do you only get one element? Why do you only get one element? If you have the ability to turn something to ice, that means you are adjusting its temperature in one direction. Why can't you do it in the opposite direction?
Yeah.
And I've never quite understood that. I get that it's well, we wanted someone to have ice powers, but, like, you've got fucking Todoroki from My Hero. It's like I've got fire and ice, like.
Which, honestly, very rad combination.
Very rad combination. And then, like, you get stuff like, well, what about if we're going with that? Could I get one for all? Okay, you get one for all. Do you get it with powers? Does it come with, like, the ones that are in the show? Or is it like you just get the ability to store other people's powers if you can get them? Which means you don't get shit.
What do you know, kid? You eat hair.
Like, the power that I would want is the one that I developed for Rowan for my tabletop game. Which is the ability to generate weapons. He's kind of like the guy from, he's kind of like Archer from Fate Stay Night, Unlimited Blade Works. The kid who, I don't know if you remember that one, so Archer is the guy with the white hair and the red jacket. He can recreate any weapon he's ever seen. It's a knockoff so it's not quite as good as the original, but it has most of the same abilities. And then one of the other characters is Gilgamesh, who his powers, he has the originals of all of these. Because his power is just, I'm fucking rich. So he has all of these legendary weapons. He has the original Excalibur, even though another character has the original Excalibur. He's like, I have, because I got it after she died. Kind of bullshit. Because these are all heroes from various points in time. And Gilgamesh and Archer tend to fight each other a lot because it's like, you're just a cheap knockoff. It's like, yes, I'm a cheap knockoff that's going to kill you. But what I did with Rowan's was he can generate a weapon based off of his connection to another person and create a weapon that reflects their abilities.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's fun. Because that also meant, like, depending on who was in the gaming session with me, I had access to, like, if some people were able to make it and some people weren't, I'd have access to different abilities that would change the layout of how the session went, which was neat, and it was fun to do in those instances. But, like, I sit here and think about, like, okay, if I had that power and, like, I could make a fucking Buster Sword based off of you, what would this sword do? And apparently, it would just cause chronic illness and hurt people. Or it would intimidate them with a bouncer-like physique.
I should start doing push-ups again.
But yeah,
I'm built like a linebacker, a very tiny linebacker.
So was Will. For most of high school, Will was much shorter, and so it's like he's built like a brick shithouse. Just a. Oh God, if he sees this, he'll kill me if I say this. But I have to say, did you see Deadpool and Wolverine?
No, I haven't watched it yet.
It's on Plex.
I know.
There's a bit in the beginning where Deadpool is traveling the multiverse, trying to find Wolverine. And he finds comic-accurate Wolverine, who is Hugh Jackman, but he's only 4 foot tall. Or 4'2" or something. Because, like, comic Wolverine is tiny. And so they just made him look... And he's like... And Deadpool's like, oh, comic-accurate Wolverine. Oh, go short king, go. And Will was comic-accurate Wolverine. He was tiny, he was shorter, he had broad shoulders, he was built like a brick shithouse, he could take a punch, he could hit like a Mack truck, but he was shorter than most of our circle of friends, and so, like, yeah. I'm glad we saw Will last weekend. Before this came into my mind, because if I were to walk up to him and be like, you, sir, are comic accurate, Wolverine, he'd be like, dude, the fuck is wrong with you?
So I've already been called Zaddy. I've got that under my belt. I need short king. Yeah. Although I wouldn't argue with comic accurate Wolverine.
Don't kill him. Son of a bitch. I mean, it doesn't matter. This fight you can lose and it becomes part of the story. This is the only fight you can lose and it becomes part of the story. But yeah, like...
You know I'm gonna struggle when he and I record the podcast in a couple weeks. Because you've planted that. He did respond to...
Only if you remember.
Well, that is true.
You will sleep between now and then.
And not sleep. They both do damage. I just take damage.
That's what your weapon, it could just do damage over time. It just inflicts Oh, fuck. So, one of my favorite book series, the Book of Swords by Fred Saberhagen. One of the swords, I think it's the Mind Sword. One of the swords. So each of these swords has like a dire ability.
Okay.
One of them, it just makes everyone around you so malaise that you just die from depression. Like the people from Serenity who didn't turn into Reavers and just kind of like that.
Okay.
It's so bad that like even the wielder will become eventually just die.
I can. Yeah. Man, you could really weaponize a whole lot about this. Just.
Yo, dog! I heard you like weaponized magic melees. Ah, God, I need to rewatch Samurai Jack.
But the ADHD, the depression, the panic attacks, which do feel like weapons.
I mean...
And then whatever the fuck my body decides to throw at me on any given day. Which right now, it's swelling everywhere. And I wonder if maybe the adjustment to my thyroid meds has something to do with it. But I just swell up really easy now. I need to wear my compression socks more often. Mentally, I do not feel old enough to have spoken that sentence. Oh my God. So when I volunteered last week with a food distribution at the church, and
Jonathan, hello!
We were like packaging cabbage.
Cabbages.
Because you get a 50-pound sack of cabbages, and then we're separating them out so there's two to a family, and so we've got the weird netted shit. And some of these fuckers were bigger than my head. Like, they were huge, and trying to fit it in the little, and I was like, I have an easier time putting my compression socks on, and I'm like surrounded by people in their 60s that all just like lost it.
Meanwhile, I'm sitting here thinking, are you the guy from Avatar with the cabbages?
I thought about that. Oh. I did. At one point, met her under my breath. I'm like, my cabbages.
They renovated the interiors at McDonald's in my area. I was just there, and it looks like we're getting a brand new Burger King down the road. Like, it's taken them over a year to build, but I'm curious. Yes, it's been forever. I hope you've been doing well. I'm playing Shining Force 2 because I'm officially 41 today. I feel old, and you're probably going to be like, I'm older than you.
41 years of making it look like you tried not to die.
I was talking to Will, my friend Will. He and I have the same birthday, so I sent him a message saying happy birthday today, and he got together at our local barcade over the weekend, and we went to see him. But I messaged him today. I'm like, hey, happy birthday. He's like, yeah, man. Can you believe it? Yeah, I honestly didn't think I would make it this far. He's like, yeah, look at us beating expectations.
Yeah. I didn't think I was going to make it past 30, honestly. And every year since then, like, I don't have a plan for this. Like, I won't say every day is a gift, but it is a surprise.
Every day is a surprise. And it's a gift, but it's a gift that I wish they kept the gift receipt so that I could return it.
I wish it was like a bag of holding, really. Just like...
Not only is it my birthday, it's YouTube. Yeah, it's one more year and YouTube can legally drink.
Which is wild. The fact that there are so many platforms that I remember their birth.
Yeah.
And it wasn't recent.
John, you're 42, so you are life, universe, the meaning of everything. Like
You're my age.
You've reached that point. But yeah, I remember YouTube starting.
Do you remember why?
I remember it was a video of a guy going to a zoo.
No, the initial whatever to create YouTube was because some guy wanted to see Janet Jackson's wardrobe malfunction. Like, just have a video of it. And that was kind of like the...
I do know the first video posted was the creator of YouTube at a zoo. It was a short, like, 15-second. Like, it was...
Yeah.
But no, I didn't know it was because someone wanted to see a nipple.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, my jaded ass is sitting here going, well, you can see so many nipples on the internet. And I'm like, oh, wait, this is 20 years ago. You couldn't quite see that many on the internet 20 years ago.
No, you could still catch a few in between the static as you were flipping through the channels. It's Cinemax, but... Which, okay, is wild, because where I went to college, Texas is so weird. And they let some of this shit be decided at the county level, including what to do about liquor and what to do about porn. So, we had to drive out of county to get liquor. But we could run through a drive-thru and get a margarita made with wine in a drive-thru. And you could rent porn, but it was all... genitals were bleeped out.
Oh, it's Japanese porn.
So, you go to the next county over, they don't have porn. One over that, they have unedited porn. Texas is fucking weird.
I have so many questions. No answers.
Also, I think it was finally struck down right before I moved away from Texas. But they still had a law on the books that you could not have more than, I think, 10 women living in the same facility. Because then it would be considered a brothel. So we didn't have sorority houses. Frat houses were fun. Didn't have sorority. I don't know what the fuck they did about convents, like. But yeah, any more than 10 women living in the same place is a brothel.
You don't get convents. Nuns don't exist in the great state of Texas.
I think there are a bunch of Mexicans living there that would disagree.
I mean, there's a very strong Catholic contingent there that's
yes.
like...
Yep. A lot of my friends graduated college from St. Mary's. It was good. Especially in San Antonio. Did you know that they are... Sorry, I was thinking about movies set in different places, and I saw something recently about San Antonio, but jumping forward. Did you know that they are making another I Know What You Did Last Summer?
Yes.
I never realized that it was set in Southport. And so, like, this trailer, I was actually listening to the playlist today that you sent me. I just listened to the whole thing today. And that was one of the ads in there, and I'm doing whatever in the kitchen, and this isn't the first time this has happened in Southport. And I was like, what? So, apparently they did some filming here in Durham.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. But yeah, I did not know about that. Anyway, yeah, sorry. San Antonio, Tommy Lee Jones movies. There was a trailer.
I was about to say, and this is how we got from point A to point B.
Yeah. Yeah.
Meanwhile, my brain just went, Tommy Lee Jones can't have more than 10 women in a house, otherwise it's a brothel. There was a Tommy Lee Jones movie, Man of the House, where he was a Texas Ranger protecting cheerleaders who witnessed, all of the cheerleaders witnessed a murder, except not all of the cheerleaders did. They were just all idiots and they couldn't tell who it was because reasons. And it was an action comedy of Tommy Lee Jones having to deal with a house full of women.
Yeah. Yeah, there are some issues with that, sociologically speaking. That said, I would love to hang out with Tommy Lee Jones. It's a cool guy.
Cool guy.
And Danny Trejo.
Danny Trejo has just had an interesting life.
Yeah, he has. Fascinating.
Listen here, you three-eyed bastard.
It wasn't me. It was the three-eyed bastard.
Run up, set my hero on fire. You're gonna get petted.
You're gonna get petted.
I love how, like,
And we warned you. This was happening. Oh, you can't pout while being petted, so you need to go be alone pout.
yeah.
And stare you down, apparently.
Hello, son. What's the matter?
You want to go upstairs to give me cookies so I can eat one kibble and jump down. Sir.
Wow, it's almost... it's almost like we know you.
Or don't.
He's like, no, I'm just gonna stare at you
Yeah,
from a distance.
I still can't believe I said that to your family. Take a picture of last. Showed up to Hamfest and I was carrying in the dishes that I brought, and y'all were out
Doing
doing
archery.
archery, and I could feel everyone's eyes. Like, I guess maybe I looked grumpy or something. Like, I could feel your eyes on me, and I was like, take a picture, it'll last longer. And then your dad was like, say cheese. Just like, I said that out loud.
Yep.
I was very tired and cranky. My meds hadn't kicked in.
Drugs.
And then I got inside and talked to your mom and Jana about building lactose intolerance as we get older. So,
Interesting conversation piece.
yeah. And then I was they were both like, yeah, and then there's this, and I just looked at him and I was like, because IBD isn't enough.
Are you going to come back up?
I think I overshared.
Hi. Sir. I love you too. Thank you.
Father. Do I go?
I do not taste like Rangoon. At least I hope I don't taste like Rangoon.
Yeah, that would mean we're making a trip to the hospital, probably. I need to make some that are just like cream cheese and scallions.
Son.
You're coming on pretty strong there.
You are coming on real strong.
Oh man.
Son, I don't need this level of grooming, son. Hi. Yes. I'm sitting here trying to navigate back to the church so I can save it before we end the live stream, and the cat's just like, Father, you're filthy. The dirt, Father. The dirt. Why must you be so disgusting, Father? You don't like it when I make that noise. I'm sorry. Ah. Yes.
I was listening to the new two-part episode of American Hysteria, and it was on the runaway nun genre. That was actually kind of a thing for a while. These fake memoirs, as a part of like anti-Catholic propaganda, and they were talking about like the different tortures and whatever, and at some point it came up. I'm walking through Walmart listening to this in my headphones, and they start making that noise. Like I'm looking at the clearance rack, and I get that in my ear, and I was like,
oh Lord, that is unfortunate.
I feel very awkward now.
Oh, I mean, as anyone who hears that noise in a Walmart, it's gonna feel real awkward.
I'm just glad there was no one standing behind me, because I would have just bolted.
I was about to say, it's a good thing that it was from the podcast and not a person standing next to you. And... Oh. Anyway, on that note,
some fava beans and a nice candy.
Thank you all for tuning into the live stream. I hope you've enjoyed it. Like I said, I do have to, I'm contractually bound to play this game on my birthday. It's what keeps me young. In mind, I guess. Yeah. But yes, thank you all for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the stream. Thank you all for hanging out on the channel. It's always a blast. I will, like I said, I have been kind of lax about recording, but I do have some Unicorn Overlord. I'll probably get that started back up next week. I'll probably get some more recording done this week. Because it's supposed to rain the rest of this week, if it actually does. So no archery practice for me this week, in theory. But yeah. Otherwise, we'll be back next week. Same hat time, same hat channel. 7:30 Eastern, Wednesday, for another live stream. I don't know what I'll stream. I typically find out, like, this, I knew what I was doing today. I knew this, well in advance. But usually I'm not that well prepared because of who I am as a person.
Untreated ADHD who?
I don't know her. But yeah, so thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you next week. So till then, take care.
Yeah. And I have links that I can post on the Discord for the podcast.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Because I did Will's podcast, and Jess is going to be doing Will's podcast. So, check that out because it's always an enlightening experience. So,
yeah.
so bye, everybody.
Bye. Thanks for tolerating my rambling.
I mean, that should be the end line of all of my live streams. Thanks for tolerating my rambling.
Bye, guys.